My name's Laura. Just reflecting back on my skin journey and when I started noticing my skin changing and experiencing it was probably around the age of like 15. I remember quite clearly it was when I was doing my GCSEs, and I think the impact of stress and change in hormones was probably, now reflecting, is probably what was causing it. So I'd had completely clear skin up until then. I had no sort of skin issues. And then it almost felt like all of a sudden these spots became all over my forehead. And I was very confused as to what was going on. And I remember really clearly this one moment of being in I think it was a mock exam for GCSEs. A boy in front of me turned around and was like, oh my gosh, like what's happened to your face? He's like, you could play like dot to dot on your forehead with those spots. And I remember thinking, oh, I didn't realize they were that bad. And I think that was the first moment I was like, oh gosh, like my skin's completely changed. And then I think from then on, it then just became this battle of like trying to, solve my skin problems. It was almost like a bit of a yo-yo. It went up and down. Like sometimes, some months it was really bad. Then some months and some weeks it got better. It just became this like vicious cycle of really trying to figure out like what was going on, but also like how to heal it. How I felt in terms of like when my skin changed and the impact on how it made me feel was almost twofold. In one sense, it really did impact my confidence, and it was then became this thing that was always at the forefront of my mind. But on the other hand, because I was around my close friends, I felt very supported, but also was always very mindful and conscious about it. I would say now I'm still very skin conscious and skin aware, I would say, but I think because I know my skin is now in a position where I feel much more comfortable, I think about it on a daily basis in the sense of how can I make sure that I keep up with my routine, and making sure that in the morning I'm going through my skincare routine with all my 47 skin products, and because I know that that's what helps. So I definitely think about it now still, but much more in a positive way versus previously. So my journey from starting to suffer with my skin around 14, 15, right through to now at the age of 28 has been a very big kind of roller coaster with lots of ups and downs and trying all sorts of different products. When I first experienced the acne, my mum used to take me to have a facial every few weeks. To some extent that worked in the sense of like, mentally it was making me feel like I'm going to a nice salon, I'm having a nice facial, like they're really like zapping into my spots. I'm sure I'm sure that's really helping. I don't know how much it actually helped, because if I think about how long I was doing that for and whether my skin was actually getting better, I'm not sure. I sort of coincided that with trying, all sorts of products, different washes, different creams, any sort of options that are available that were sort of spots and blemish and acne focused. Again, nothing really worked. Things helped to manage the spots, but they didn't help completely get rid of anything. I then ended up going to the doctors, and at this point they put me on antibiotics and gave me antibiotic like topical creams, which again didn't really help. And that's when I went on like hormone tablets. Within probably about 6 months, cleared up my spots. And then I think for the next sort of 3 to 4 years, it was kind of on and off, but it was okay and it was manageable. And then as I got into my late teens, I didn't really get many spots. I think I'd go through the odd few months where it would break out and it would flare up, but it'd be nothing like it was when I was younger. But I came off the hormone tablets. I wanted to kind of cleanse my body, and then that's when the spots came back. They put me on some different medication. That then made my skin really break out. And at this point, it was like around my jawline and the bottom of my face. So I stopped taking that and like searching for solutions, and I went back to the drawing board in terms of trying different things. Went back to the doctors, went through the cycle of antibiotics again. Nothing seemed to work. After about 4 to 6 months, they said, okay, you've tried everything, we can now put you on Roaccutane. There's so many side effects that can be really, some of them can be lifelong. But I think at this point I was so desperate to find a solution. I thought, well, I would give up anything just to get rid of these spots. So I went on Roaccutane for 18 months, and then that actually worked. And then after about a year, they all started coming back again. And I thought, at this point, I'm now a bit older, so I thought, I don't want to go back on Roaccutane. For me now, the side effects of that medication don't offset how I feel about my skin. So I set out to kind of go down the sort of the product route and see what I could find. And that's essentially then when I found 47 Skin. The anti-blemish and scar repair range was really helping, but actually then they launched the intensive range. And I thought with the salicylic acid, as well as the higher dose of the silver-chitoderm, I thought, give that a go, see if it helps. I used that for about a month, really religiously. And so the intensive range ended up almost zapping my cystic acne, really helped. And so after about a month or so, I stopped using that and just then started using the anti-blemish and scar repair serum. And now I use that along with the cleanser morning and night. It's the only thing that I found that actually keeps my spots and blemishes at bay. I finally feel like I'm in a position where I've got a solution that's manageable and it's a solution for the long term. What makes me feel so good about 47 Skin is I know that it's something that's sustainable and it's just part of my skincare routine now, and I know that it's something that I can sustain day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year without any negative side effects. To have a product that helps my spots and blemishes, that I know is working on the marks and the scarring on my skin, but also is hydrating my skin at the same time, and I'm not having to compromise with anything, I think is just what's like so fantastic and what makes me like, really appreciate 47 Skin. I wish I'd definitely found 47 Skin sooner. For anyone else suffering, to know that there's a solution out there for them that can help them right away without having to go through medication, sunbeds, tens of hundreds of pounds on facials, you know, different products that end up not working. To have a product that can just help them right away, I think is so fantastic, and I want to make sure that people know about it and it's the sort of the product that they turn to when they need help with their skin. I think if I was to think about what I would say to my younger self, I would definitely say it gets better and easier. I don't know where it goes. But I think you have, like, there's a lot of like hardship going through it, and yeah, a lot of like emotion involved. But I'd say stick at it.